want to bring in CBS News election law expert and contributor David Becker. He's also the executive director of the Center for Election Innovation Research. David, break down the case dealing with mail-in ballots in Mississippi.
As Jan pointed out, the court seems to be looking for ways to expand executive power, but in one area they're not doing that, and that is with regard to elections. Elections specifically were carved out in Article 1, Section 4 of the Constitution as being the province of the state legislatures or Congress, either one. But the executive has no direct authority over elections unless Congress expressly authorizes it. And here was a case where Mississippi and 13 other states in D.C. allow anyone who has voted by mail legally on or before Election Day to have their ballot returned by the Postal Service, received by election officials after Election Day. It's usually
a grace period, essentially.
Right. But it's more than this. These are ballots that were completed and filled out, and Justice Barrett was very clear about this. The voting process, the choice that was made in elections, was made on or before Election Day, as is required by federal law, but then put in the Postal Service. The Postal Service might take time to deliver them, and 14 states in D.C. have made the decision that any voter like that should have their ballot counted, and 30 states in D.C. have done that for military and overseas voters, which is really important. So this is good news for the vast majority of states that have decided through their state legislatures to count these ballots.
And it's important to underscore that there's a verification process that every state goes through. So these are treated with the same rigor as every other ballot.
Right. If someone had voted after Election Day, that's illegal. That ballot should not be counted anywhere in the country. But for all of these ballots, these are all by definition ballots that were cast on or before Election Day, put in the Postal Service, put in a mailbox, and then the U.S. Postal Service might have taken some time to deliver them. Quite frankly, given the challenges the Postal Service is facing right now, someone could have diligently put it in a mailbox 7 days or more before, and it might be delivered late. And so these states have decided we don't want to disenfranchise those voters. We definitely don't want to disenfranchise the military voters who rely upon the Postal Service. That's their only way to cast a ballot. They're getting their ballots. They're filling them out diligently, but I've done research on this in the course of my career. It can take 18 days or more for a mail ballot to come back to the United States and get to an election office. So Congress has already acted on this. I think Justice Barrett's opinion is really interesting. I think everyone should read it if you're interested in elections and the history of elections in this country. She did a masterful job of walking through the evolution of elections in this country, what Election Day meant, the long history of mail voting, and the long history we have over decades of states choosing to allow ballots that come in after Election Day to be counted anyway, and Congress knew this and had not legislated otherwise.
Before I let you go, how far back does mail-in balloting go in our country?
At least the Civil War. And we've had it consistently, and Congress has consistently legislated past that.
At least since the Civil War. David Becker, thank you for that fun fact.